Alright, so quick preface to this video. I'm starting a new content idea where about once a year I get into a real lawn. I guess not this one, not so much entangled, in-depth repair, but this is more so just a little longer than usual than the videos I usually do. And so, like I said, I'm going to start every summer about once a year do these kind of videos. This year it's a bit different, a bit of a different one. It's a barbecue that won't light, a Masterchef G45 2008 Masterchef G45 301 is the model. And yeah, so today's video is a bit of a different video. I know I usually do radio TV videos. Today I thought I'd do a video on this 2008 Masterchef barbecue. We've had it sitting out here for quite some time and it hasn't been working. We were figuring that we might have to replace the burners, and that might be what's wrong. Alright, so we're taking apart this. What is this? This is 2008 Masterchef. I think it's a 2008. Let me check the date code. That down there says 2008. I'm not sure that's a date code. Oh, maybe an 08 or 09 Masterchef barbecue. You can see the level of crust in here. It's almost like it's sat in the desert for 20 years or more. I mean, it's so crusty that burners are falling apart and all the pins that hold it together are just stuck or just breaking off. I mean, you can tell this one has a pin just tacked on, just welded or tacked on. Whereas this one did too, but it just came off so easily because of the level of crust. I got one of them out, but I can't get this one to come out. This one doesn't look too bad. It does look pretty crusty. There's some of the broken pins from the level of crust. We were just looking online at Canadian Tire, or as everyone here in Canada likes to call it, crappy tire. At the replacement burners. They're too damn hard to see in the sun. Let me put it under here, under the umbrella. $30, so kind of pricey. I mean, $30 each. Now you can see that one has a crack in it. So we got the knobs off the front, we pulled this out, and no idea how we're gonna get the lighter off of it, off of the burner. Alright, we managed to get the lighter off. I have to say this barbecue is not so serviceable at all. After prying it for 20 minutes, yeah, we finally got the lighter off. Alright, so we vacuumed it out. We got all the crusty crap out of it. We're gonna figure out how to get this other burner out. So we got all the burners disassembled. Now all we have to do is go to the Canadian Tire website and order the new ones. I guess I'll call this part 1, disassembling burners, and then part 2 will be the assembling and the testing. So 2008 Masterchef barbecue with a big pile of crust sitting on it. Took the grates off and stuff. You can see all crustified. That's even a word. It's all crusted and it's breaking the stainless steel. We're thinking of replacing the grates, that just costs more money, and they're still not even falling apart yet. So all we really need to do is replace the burners. This is another one of those pieces that lays across them when you install it. It's all chipping off all the crust. This barbecue also has a small little burner up here underneath all this pile of crust, and you lift it up. But you can see it has it's almost like a little burner pot under there. A little burner under there for if you're doing, I don't know, steaks and corn on the cob. You can do corn on the cob on the side here and your steaks up there. This is what I meant by the small side burner. So I just googled this while I was eating my dinner, and I guess these are called carryover tubes. So what happens is when you ignite the barbecue with the igniter switch, when this lighter sends electrical spark to these to the burners when the propane is on. So when the lighter is clamped to this, when it ignites the burner when the propane is on, what this does is it carries it over from one tube to the next. And so when it's on, when the burner's on and it's been sparked, you should get a nice blue flame all the way across it. But when we turn it on, that's not what we're getting, because, well, for one, I don't remember which one. If this one is cracked. But what they said, I watched a YouTube video on it, and what the guy said is, even though if it's cracked, you should still get a flame, but the flame would be a little too high. So it still doesn't work either way, but what we're still gonna do is we're gonna order the new burners on the Canadian Tire website, or the crappy Tire website, and we're gonna replace them and see if that works. Something else I just realized is I'm probably gonna have to buy new pins, because I found out that a lot of the new stock burner tubes don't come with these lock pins so that it's secured onto the plates on the back and in the middle. But but these aren't hard to find in the local hardware stores. You can just go into any local hardware store and find the little pins like that, or you could just use haywire through the through that little hole there on each of the burners. So if we look here with the knobs off, you can see when I push against that pushes that pin open, so it pushes into the burner, and when you turn it up, it should turn up the intensity. You should be able to adjust the intensity of the flame that comes out of the burner. So we also have this Thermos Quickset Traditional, and I thought I'd vacuum this up because we're gonna meet for the weekend. We're gonna do a few steaks on the weekend. We're gonna use this one because we need a barbecue to use for the steaks this weekend while this one's being serviced. So I'm gonna go ahead and vacuum it out. Got the barbecue all vacuumed out, and the top rack is crusty as hell. I mean, look at it, it's just falling apart. all style on the outside, all rust and crust in the inside. Come up with an idea before we even decided to buy the new tubes. We thought, what if we put them all back in except for the one that's cracked and see what happens. And when we turn it on and light them, we're gonna see if we can light them individually. We should get a solid blue flame on each side. So let's see what happens here. Okay, so we're turning the propane on, and when we hit the igniter, we should get a nice solid blue flame. You can smell the propane.
We got nothing lighting.
It's almost when you turn it on, you can hear the propane is hissing, but it's not lighting. So we're gonna try it this way. We're doing it in Like I said, you can smell the propane, but so I guess this isn't even working either. The side burner. So I came to the local grocery store to get a few things, do a bit of shopping, and I noticed that the cake mix section, everything in the cake mix section is flying off the shelves like it's going out of style. Because, you know, people are bored out of their minds, they got nothing else to do, and it's quick, easy food. So I also got the steaks for Saturday night. You can get those on the go. Alright, second stop for steaks. First store didn't have much. Alright, so we finally got some good steaks at the second store, the local Safeway. I guess they had to have the most intimidating looking security guy they could find. So here's the Saturday night steaks with got a couple of twice baked potatoes going in the oven. So I picked this up. I've never seen this before. I know I've seen the Barks root beer and the Barks cream soda, but I've never seen Barks cherry bite. Seems familiar though, like I've heard of it before or I've seen pictures online, but okay, a little update on the Masterchef. We started playing around a little more and we got one burner to go. We put the cracked one back in and it seems to be the only one working. You smell propane even though you haven't turned the barbecue on. And only one of them is lit. Well, it's off now and I guess it's still lit. I don't know why. That doesn't even light, the side burner on that side. It does for a few seconds and then it goes out. You know, you hear the and then it goes out again. Why is the damn thing still whistling even though it's off? Well, now it's not. One of the reasons why it's not lighting? An ass backwards switch. It's not even turning. It's jammed, but at the same time, it's all flipped ass backwards. Alright, so update today is May 18th. Just got a package in the mail from Amazon Prime. It's the burners for the barbecue. So I had to order them off Amazon Prime instead of Canadian Tire because they're cheaper, and they come sooner in the mail. All right, so I just unpackaged the burners. I noticed the holes look slightly larger, and then I noticed there's, of course, it comes with a defect. So let's roll. Alright, so new propane tank. The other one was completely empty. And that has nothing to do with the barbecue not working because it was before. And just a few days ago I was walking through the garage to film a radio video. I've been filming videos in between this one because this is like a month-long project. But I noticed when I walked by here I smelled propane. It was almost as if it was leaking out of somewhere. And the other day when we went to do hot dogs on the barbecue, we noticed that the propane tank was empty, so it was left on, or someone forgot to turn it off and it was leaking somewhere. So now we got a new one. Put the regulator back on. We're gonna put the new burners in and light them up and see what happens. Alright, so I took all the old burners off. I unpackaged the new ones, and I looked again and they do have I noticed when I unpackaged it, they do have pins. They just don't come with the cross burners, fortunately. And this one's broken, but all the rest of them are good. And I don't recommend, you can just lay it on top, and it'll still work, but I don't recommend that. I recommend just buying new cross burners. And you can also light them individually, which I guess works. Anyways, let's put them in. You stick it through a little hole there where the knob is. There's a little tab on the end, slides over top. By the way, I did notice the little knob on the end for the pins are on the opposite sides, which doesn't really matter. So that's that knob that's jammed that I mentioned earlier in this video. Got a whole nother problem because the burner is too wide for the lighter to fit over it, so I'm just gonna pull it out of there, and I'm just gonna light them manually with a gas lighter. AA battery. So there's two positive and negative contacts on the back for it. Let's pull them out. There's the crustified, falling apart lighter. Well, I guess that explains it. It isn't positive and negative. One of them is for the I need the light. Standby. So like I said, that's the wire that goes to the lighter on the side burner. And we put all the knobs back on. We're gonna go ahead and light it. See if she lights up. Put the lighter knob back on just for the looks. Alright, propane on. Go ahead and see if they light. Really nothing. Oh. Well, this one's going, I can't see the flame on the camera. Well, we made some progress, I guess. We got one. So these two are lighting. Those two aren't. You can see the difference in the color from the other two. Just to see if it still goes, the side burner. Oh, that's on. So is the side burner shot as well? Because it's, I think I mentioned this earlier at some point in this video, that the side burner isn't lighting. Yeah, these ones are gone. So, I mean, we can cook burgers and steaks on one side, just not that side. It's hard to see on the camera, but you can see the blue. I don't suggest doing it this way while the burner's on. They sound like they're really going. Yeah, the blue flame's going. You can't see it on the camera. Maybe if I turn down the exposure. So there we go. This can be put to use again. After years of sitting out here and rusticating, crusting over. Trying the other side again. It's the side with the original jam knob. So that end of it is hot. That end isn't. Of course, once you're finished installing and testing the burners, you can put the pins back in, or you can do that beforehand. Just don't do it like that. Alright, well, we got a working barbecue again. We cleaned the grates, put them back on, or the racks, and put the heat shields back on, clean those as well. We just scrub them with a wire brush, get all the dirt and stuff off. And yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and close out the video here. I don't know how many of you enjoyed these type of videos, but if you guys seem to like these a little bit more, I might do more videos like this in the future. Anyways, 2009 Masterchef. In 2009 Masterchef G45301. It has the it has a thermometer gauge on the top, I guess. So when you have this shot, it tells you how hot it gets. anyways, we did take the, we might end up putting this back on at some point to use it again, but we took it off because it doesn't even fit on top of the, new burners. And it's all pried apart and it's coming loose. So much for the side burner. Like I said, it's not lighting. I know we've used it before. We used it years ago when this barbecue was still working with the old burners in it, but you got the lighter totally disconnected. We still this wire for the side burner, and I was looking at, there's a screw that goes on this that's on I don't know if it's on one side or both sides, I can't tell, but there's a screw in the back that screws through that little hole in the propane tank, and I can't seem to get it to move to get into the propane tank, get the propane tank in the correct position, but nobody's gonna see it while the doors are closed, and it's pretty sturdy in there right now, so shut that. And yeah, thanks for watching. See you in the next one.